everyone, welcome back to the week of weirdness here at Brownlow Books. It is day 5, and I'm going to tell you about my most liked books of the year. These are in no particular order. I couldn't if I tried. They're so different, and like, I couldn't compare them. I love them all. Okay, so I'm going to start with the ones that I do not have physical copies of. We're just going to talk about it for a second. Ducks by Kate Beaton. I just recently read. The more I sit with it, the more I'm enjoying of it. Like, I keep thinking about it, and I'm just like, this is a fucking Canadian story. Like, this is amazing. Like, you don't often get Canadian stories that are really about a Canadian experience, except, like, especially something so, like, much of a microcosm as, like, the fucking oil sands in Alberta. I don't think I've ever heard about anything that contained the oil sands in Alberta before. So, like, her doing a graphic memoir, it just hit. It hit me. I had no intention of reading it. I was like, meh, oil sands. Like, and then I was like, I'll suggest it to my library and see what happens. And they got it. And so I got it first. And I was like the first person on hold, the person who put the hold in. And it was just like, guess I'm reading this now. And so I did. And, like, it did it for me. So, Ducks, Kate Beaton. Second one that I do not have a physical copy of right now is my Mouse 1 and 2, Art Spiegelman. I lent that to a friend because his copy kept getting canceled. Like, remember when last year and they couldn't keep it in print? You couldn't find them anywhere, anything, like, because of the book bans and shit. So, yeah. That, again, a graphic memoir. I guess it's not really a memoir because it's his dad's. He's, like, telling his dad's story. Anyways, that just, like, that fucking hit. So, yeah, I can't, it's black and white. It's literally black and white. It's about him surviving the fucking concentration camps during World War II. It's got this thing with, like, not so much a survivor's guilt, but, like, a second-generation survivor's guilt. And it's just, like, it's good. It's, like, fucking banned because, there's some nudity in it. But, like, no, there isn't. It's a mouse. Yeah, it's should absolutely be necessary, required reading. It's heavy. It's heavy, though. I will give that. Alright. Continuing on in no particular order and going a little bit lighter here, we have The League of Extraordinary Women by Evie Dunmore. Technically, because this is the first one, technically, Bringing Down the Duke, I technically read in 2021, like December 29th. But I'm including it because it's the first one of this. So I read A Rogue of One's Own this year. Loved it. Read Portrait of a Scotsman. Loved it. It's like each successive book, I'm just like more in love with it. And I'm like, bring on number 4 this year. Let's fucking do this. All right. Another book that I did love this year was Butter Honey Pig Bread. So it is a Scotiabank Giller Prize long list, and it was also in Canada Reads in 2021 as one of their selections. I think came in 3rd. I don't remember. Anyways, read it for book club. Had intentions of reading it already. I fucking love it. The, like, magical realism in it is just ever so delightful because it's, like, takes place in so many different places, but it's still, like, their culture from Africa in Nigeria. And so, like, the way it just connects them, fucking loved it. Hate the last page. Fucking love the rest of it, that it makes up enough for it. It's fine. It's not fine, but it's fine. So, definitely one of my top ones of the year. Liked it a lot. Loved it even. So, on the same vein, we have What Strange Paradise, which is a Scotiabank Giller Prize winner and was also on the Canada Reads long list for 2022. Would I have found it without Canada Reads? Probably not. Did I fucking fall in love? Yes, I fucking did. This has a dual timeline in a way I've never seen a dual timeline really go before. Like, I always see them, like, in historical fiction, so it's like, oh, 1830 and then, like, 1930. This is literally just days difference between the before. It's called before and it's called after. And those are the two timelines in this. And so one is this boy trying to escape, like a refugee boy trying to escape to a better life in Europe. And then the after is after he lands on the beach in Greece. And then there is the last 2 pages in the book which make you question everything you fucking read, and I fucking love it. And that, like, I liked it before that. When I hit that page, though, I was just like, what? What? It really did it for me. Like, yeah, the reason I think this did not win Canada Reads, honestly, for me, is because it's not set in Canada. I feel like Canada Reads lately has been very much like, we need the Canadian stuff, we're gonna go with stuff that's actually set in Canada, even though you're a Canadian author and publishing a Canadian book. Said it. Alright. Last one on my list, but not necessarily last. Even though I knew the end by C.L. Polk. Canadian author. I loved me some Canadians this year. Good. Yeah, I am not into what this book is. I loved this book. I loved this book. It's like a lesbian detective noir thing with paranormal stuff happening, and I'm not into paranormal mystery, like, at all. At all. I loved this. And I mean, it's pretty short. Maybe that helped my love of it, that it didn't drag out, and I was just like, is it over yet? Loved it. Loved so many things about it. Little lesbian relationship, little noir detective stuff going on in the 40s, and just like, it was it. So I would say those are my top books for the year. There's some ones that came close. Like finishing up the Great Library series by Rachel Kane. I really enjoyed Sword and Pen, but like, in terms of it being my favorite of the year, it's only towards my favorites because it finished up a story that I have read 4 books long now, previous to that. So it was more of the overarching story, so it's not necessarily Sword and Pen being my favorite of the year, and you reading Sword and Pen by itself would be weird. Read the entire series if you're gonna do that. So those would be some of my favorites of the year. There's definitely ones where I've been talking about them when I do the reviews for you where I'm like, oh my god, I love it so much, and like, I didn't include in this list. Like Fire Season. Like, it's one of those ones where I'm sitting with it a little more and I'm like, I still really, 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 really liked it, but like, I'm maybe not in love with it like I thought I was. I did enjoy it a lot. So there's like, runner-up. It's not a runner-up, it's fine. So yeah, some of my favorites of the year. This has been day 5 of my week of weirdness. Make sure you come back tomorrow for day 6 and what I plan on doing in the coming year. Thanks for hanging out. See you tomorrow.